Hello, welcome to... Wow, what an intro that was.
Yeah, wow, it's as if it was last week shouting.
It is last week's shouting.
Aren't we on tight budgets these days?
Well, you know, we can't afford to lose our voice that easily.
Exactly, they're very precious things. Keep your voice box healthy, kids. Drink loads of voice petrol.
Yeah. That doesn't sound good.
I don't even know what that is now.
That sounds
disgusting.
Awful. Yeah.
Disgusting.
So today, we're doing dreams.
Yes, we are.
We're gonna have a little talk through some of ours, I guess. We put a tweet out. Fraser put a tweet out telling people to say their strangest dreams.
By the way, I'm Fraser. Right, that's Kai.
Oh yeah. My name's Kai. This is Fraser.
Hello.
You can tell how prepared we are for this episode.
We're just kind of winging it.
I mean, that's how you do it, isn't it? You just wing it.
Wing it or chicken wing it.
Yeah, exactly. We got Yuki in the background here.
Don't mind me. I'm not here.
She's there.
She's here.
She's quiet.
She's very quiet.
We might ask her about something later on.
Yeah, just grab her and get her in for a good few seconds.
But for now, she's in her...
Or clicking. It's just me being an annoyance, but that won't be in the next episode. It's very mildly in this one, I'm sorry.
So what were the results of your cake floating experiment, Kai?
Well, about that. Kind of forgot about the cake floating experiment, so we haven't done that.
Did you eat it before you threw it?
I haven't even bought a cake.
Oh my god.
Got a Coca-Cola here though, so...
Everyone was looking forward to that. You have not seen the amount of tweets I've received.
After this episode, promise.
You promise you'll do the cake floating bit?
Yeah, and if I break this promise, then you can just... I don't know. Bye.
Okay then. But for now, dreams.
You stole my line.
Well, isn't that a dreaming?
But for now, dreams. There we go. Did a little like arm movement as well.
And we're talking about dreams and stuff because I've had such a weird dream lately.
Yeah.
It's been... I wouldn't say it's the strangest one I've ever had. Do you ever find with dreams, you've got a few which you just remember over your lifetime? Like, I remember having like this really bad dream when I was younger, and it's kind of stuck with me throughout my whole life because obviously I was traumatized when I woke up when I was younger. Do you ever get that? Have you ever had these dreams that you've just remembered?
Oh yeah.
For ages and ages. Oh yeah.
There's like 3 memorable ones for me.
What are they?
How many have you got first? So like, just so we can work out which order we do it in.
Well, I mean, I've got one that was recently, which is currently sticking out. I mean, sometimes I write down my dreams in a notepad on my phone. So I've got a couple I can like look at. I didn't really plan to have a look at all of them. But like there's at least 2 or 3 from when I was younger that I've just remembered over my lifetime. I've always thought I was weird to remember.
3?
Yeah, sure, 3, why not?
So you got 3, I got 3. That's a good number.
Okay.
I guess that's what happens when like you get to your 20s or whatever almost. You get like 3, then none, then another one just appears out of nowhere, yeah?
That's true. So let's go for one of your dreams. What is one of your most memorable dreams?
My most memorable one is my grandma trying to kill me.
What? What?
So, you know my grandma, yeah? We've gone through our stories before with my dad.
Oh god, many stories.
So she had really bad dementia, viewers, and she got to the point where she saw and heard people and thought crazy things, basically. And once I bought her this teddy for, I guess for her birthday or something like that.
Right.
And we came back later in the day, and it was ripped to pieces outside. And she said that it was evil and had an evil spirit inside it, yeah? Imagine 6-year-old me, or I think I was younger than that. I must have been like 5 or something. Imagine 5-year-old me come into her house and seeing this ripped up teddy outside that I just spent like £2 on.
But it's still a heartfelt gift, isn't it?
It is. So then when you get there and it's ripped to pieces and whatever else. This is a real story, by the way. This isn't the dream part yet, but this is what triggered the dream, I think.
You must have been devastated.
Yeah. I was crying.
Oh.
So 6-year-old me not happy about that. Or I must have been like 5, I think, maybe 6. I was very young. It was like the point where you don't really understand like Valentine's Day and whatever else, you know, like that kind of young.
But that was for her birthday. You understand her birthday.
Yeah. That was her birthday. And I was like, a little teddy. But basically this dream it was all, you know, like really old style graphics or whatever. Like, probably pixelated is probably the best I can put it.
Right.
The whole dream is pixelated. It's like a Donkey Kong map. So like, she's at the top, yeah? And I'm down the bottom. It's really weird, and I don't know why it was a dream that I ever had, but...
Yeah.
She played piano, for anyone that's wondering, and this is part of the dream. So, oh god, I threw something, sorry. So, she played piano, and she was really good at it. She was like, even when she had dementia, she was really good at it. She taught my brother and whatever else parts. So,
nice.
Like, great at it. But she wasn't playing it, she was just making this song, and it was like... And it was just that on loop the whole way through.
Oh my god.
And, what happened was, it was like a death ritual, but the weirdest thing is I had this dream twice, like ever, and like one a few weeks later. Was it?
Oh, a few weeks later.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And so she was with this piano, and just coming down slowly. It's like a horror movie sort of thing, but like a child's horror movie where like you go boo and it will scare you to pieces, you know?
Yeah.
So that's like my most memorable bad dream. It's just her coming down to try and kill me.
It's so strange. And like when you put your dreams into reality, there's no way of you properly describing to someone else exactly how your dream is. So like in your head, you're probably reliving that dream and slight images that you can remember from it. Whereas in my head, it could be completely different.
You know, like Diary of the Wimpy Kid, yeah? Like that sort of style. It's like that, but
so like
pixelated.
2D kind of side-scroller.
But it's that, but pixelated. So like old Mario Bros. And old like Donkey Kong sort of graphics sort of things. Like visual-wise.
Were you like... so was it like you had to run away from her, or...?
Pretty much, and if she caught me, then I'd be dead. But like the background was just like stripes, pretty much. So... I don't know why it's the only thing that's really stuck in my brain ever since for like bad dreams. And
do you ever get when you're in a bad dream, you literally fail to function as a human being? Like if you try to run away from something in a dream, you end up like falling over a lot or running really slowly, like you forget how to run fast, or you end up crawling.
This do you ever get that? Like real life, Fraser.
I feel like in a dream world, you just fail to function as a human being, and everything you want to do, you just can't do.
Yeah, I get that. But I don't really have that too much, I guess.
Right.
I think
it's usually just in nightmares,
good.
Really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's in a nightmare where you just struggle to have realism.
Yeah.
In any way, and nothing is making sense.
God, that's such a strange dream.
Well, that was my most memorable one. What's yours?
Well, I mean, I've had a couple of memorable ones over the years.
Yeah.
I think the one that always comes in my head, and this is really weird, when I was a lot younger, we used to have another dog. Right. And this dog was kind of like a mix between a Jack Russell and another breed of which I've forgotten. It escaped my mind, so I'm not going to focus on it anymore. It was a crossbreed. And obviously no one knows, other than you, my old house layout.
Yeah.
So describing my house layout would be strange. But basically, just imagine this. Me and my brother, who was basically a baby/toddler at the time, we were sitting out by the doorway of the entrance to the kitchen. So like just in the hallway to it.
Right, so not like where Louis was.
Yeah, look, Louis, for those of you who don't know, is my old parrot. So yeah, it was like basically the entrance to the dining room, and also right next to it, to the right, there was the entrance to the kitchen. So me and my brother were just sitting there. I guess we were playing games. I seem to have a lot of these dreams where me and my brother are just playing games to begin with. You'll find out another one in a minute. We're just playing games by the entrance of the kitchen. It could have been like a ball or something. And then all of a sudden we hear some barking. And obviously that's my dog. But the barking, it's absolutely ferocious barking. Next thing you know, my dog is charging through the kitchen. He's like rabid, but also he's chopped in half. So like, let's just say, imagine my dog is cut up into thirds. You've got the front of the dog, you got the middle belly, and then you got the back with the legs and tail. The front of the dog, yeah, he was there. The middle belly, cut out. The back of the dog, that was there. So the middle half of him was gone.
Yeah.
And it was just, well, I don't know what it was, but I don't know how, but he was managing to stay afloat. It was like a horror movie dog. For whatever reason, he's still managing to stay upright and still walk and run. But it's just the middle half of him was gone, and he was charging towards us. And obviously the dream ended very quickly after that, because apparently, I don't know if he was going to kill us, but I guess they say general rule of thumb is you never really see when you die in dreams, which is BS. I've seen it.
I've seen it, yeah.
But I remember waking up like in horror, panting, like, oh my god, what the hell just happened? Obviously I was a lot younger then, so I wasn't like, oh fucking hell, what's going on? But I just remember like waking up with a massive jolt and thinking I hated that dream. Like, it honestly, it was such a small portion of a dream. There could have been a bigger one, but that small moment, just sitting in front of the kitchen, and then a dog charging towards us, probably to eat us, horrifying. And that one has always stuck in my head.
See, that kind of reminds me of like we were talking about just before we started. Me and Yuki just went to see chapter 2 of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And kind of reminds me of a scene maybe in the first one, where like the guy's got like just his legs.
Yeah.
Was that in the first one?
Maybe. I can't remember.
That might have been in this one actually. So spoiler.
Oh my god.
No legs.
That gives away a lot of the movie, Kai.
Oh no, that's like the fundamental point. That's all I came to watch the movie for. The legs.
Just the legs.
Just the legs, nothing else but the legs. That's a really weird dream.
Yeah, it's one that's always stuck with me, and I think it always will stick with me. I know I
guess it's like
I had it when I was much younger, like I was really young, so it stuck with me for at least 15 years.
Yeah, of course. I guess it's like that sort of thing, like, obviously, if you're young, you have, like, weird dreams anyway, because...
Oh, God, yeah.
Nothing's natural to you, yeah.
And they say that if you eat sugar or something before bed, you end up having crazy dreams, and obviously when you're younger, you're always eating sugar. You're like, we're gonna have a chocolate before bed! Or you
I'm
have,
still like that now.
Well, your sleeping pattern, your eating schedule's, like, way off course.
What do you mean?
You sleep at, like, ridiculous o'clock... Yeah. And you wake up at ridiculous o'clock.
I have you know I woke up nice and early today.
Well, yeah, you had a reason to wake up. But like yesterday...
yeah.
Yesterday, you were dead and... You were just dead.
Yeah, but every other day this week, I've been alright.
Yuki, in the background. What's Kai's sleeping schedule been like? Oh, bye then.
She walked out.
Well,
she's gone outside quick.
There goes that. We'll ask her when she comes back in. What other dreams do you have?
So my second most memorable one is also a nightmare, obviously.
Right.
Don't remember like good dreams. I think they're just not memorable, are they? Really good dreams?
No.
So my second one is another nightmare. I think I just watched the first Jurassic Park when I was like 3, 4.
Yeah.
4 probably.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's like that house that I was living in.
Yeah.
And it's the exact same house. I was in bed. So obviously I thought this was real because I was in bed. I think I was in my parents' bed though, so that's like the one thing that made it like, obviously it's not real, but they had this big like wardrobe across the whole wall, and it's basically where you could hang coats and whatever else at the time.
As a wardrobe does, yeah.
And suddenly like, I'm hearing...
Okay. Ominous.
Like getting louder and louder. And suddenly this giant T-Rex slams through the like window.
Oh my god.
And little old 4-year-old me, I like scream and run into like the closet or whatever, and like have it like slightly open as you do, you know, you have it slightly open for like...
Is this still you within the dream?
Outside.
Or is this you like... Okay.
Yeah, this is me in real life. I'm looking at this T-Rex.
Oh, no, I mean like... You could have woken up and then ran into the closet.
No. I was never like that kind of like person dreaming. I was always
okay.
I'd lay in bed and just be awake for a little bit longer.
Fair enough.
And so I ran into the closet in the dream. This T-Rex is like screaming its head off outside, and I'm just staring at it through this little gap, like crying my eyes out.
Aww.
And it's just like, you know when it goes like past you, it goes sort of noise.
Oh, like the growl.
Yeah, the little growl. I can't do it like great because it's like.
Yeah, no, I get you.
And that like, then like it opens the closet or whatever, and then that's when I wake up basically.
Oh my god!
But how terrifying is that if you're 4 years old?
That is horrifying. It sounds very similar to I can't give you a whole dream, but it was very similar to like I remember watching Jurassic Park for the first time as well, and I know that night I woke up because of like a bad dinosaur dream. I say night, it was quite early on because your parents put you to bed quite early. I think it was like 9 o'clock in the summer or something, so it was still sunny outside. I remember waking up in sweats and stuff because of a dinosaur from watching Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
And I remember running to my parents' bedroom because I was horrified.
Obviously don't have that problem now, but...
Oh no, you do it on a regular basis.
Yeah, I have this exact same dream every night, run into the closet as well afterwards.
No wonder your dad doesn't sleep anymore, he's fed up of it.
He's moved away. It's just me now.
Man. Oh dear, poor Yuki. Jesus
well, it's
Christ,
alright.
that is horrifying though when you're younger.
Yeah,
right.
It is terrifying.
Oh dear. I think moving on to my second dream.
Yeah.
It's also nice. It's actually I say it's a nice and short one, but it's not too much really. So there's kind of like different parts to it. So going back to the whole theme of me and my brother playing in the house or whatever, this dream started off with me and my brother playing at the top of the stairs in our old house. And we were kind of like to the side of it, so we could see someone coming up the stairs from the side.
Yeah.
And we were just looking over because we heard some music coming from downstairs. But it's kind of like, imagine jungle style music, so like...
Like some bongos and stuff as well.
Sure, like that. And then some maracas and stuff. And then next to it, this is... Oh, I get flashbacks! This is where the dream starts getting funny when I say it out loud, but also it's quite weird.
Right.
So there were these dancing evil chickens which started marching up the stairs with maracas with spikes on them.
Can someone send some fan art of this into the Twitter, please? Because I would love to see this.
Dancing evil chickens marching up the stairs with maracas with spikes on.
Put like me and Fraser at the top of the stairs. I'll join his dream. Goodbye, brother Fraser. It's gonna be me, Fraser, and then these dancing chickens with spikes coming up the stairs.
Whenever I say it out loud, I can't help but laugh at it. But obviously, when I was a lot younger, I was like, ah! And I ran into my bedroom and shut the door. And that was the end of that. But then I turned on the TV and...
Dancing chickens with spikes.
Imagine. No, it was... There was... It was supposed to be like the BBC news desk, but there was no news reporter there. It was just the headlines.
Right.
So the presenter had gone missing. And then there was a crack in the wall. And I had a bunk bed in my old room at the time. So there was a crack at the top of the bunk bed in the wall. And water started leaking through. And I remember shouting to my mum, Mum, there's water. But there was no response. So I just thought, okay, I'll just put some tape over it. So I put some tape over it. And that was it for about 30 seconds. Then water started gushing through the wall. As in like, there was going to be a flood if I didn't get out now. So I ran out my bedroom. The chickens had all gone. There was nothing there. My brother had gone for whatever reason. And I ran into my parents' bedroom. And like the daytime TV was on there. Still BBC, still no news presenter. And my mum had been doing the ironing. I remember the stream so vividly. My mum had been doing the ironing. The ironing board was there. There was nothing. There was no one there. And then I went to run down the stairs. But then at the top of the stairs, the banister started closing in and closing up the entrance or the exit to go down the stairs. And there was no way of getting out. So before you knew it, the entirety of the upstairs of the house was very quickly flooded. And I woke up before I could get underwater.
Well, you didn't drown.
At least I didn't drown, but no doubt if I was still in my dream for any longer, I would have drowned.
You know what? Speaking of drowning, completely off topic.
Okay.
I have almost drowned once.
How? What did you do? Where was this?
I think someone jumped on top of me in the swimming pool.
Oh, well, that's a given then. You drown. Yeah.
But there's another time where we were at the beach, and it's one that's close by here, yeah? It's about half hour down the road.
Okay.
Like if we're driving. And me and I think we were on a school trip to the beach. As you do. Cool school trip, isn't it?
Oh, man. We never had any school trips to the beach. Count yourself lucky.
I know. Well, we got like beaches here. You've got like harbours.
True.
So
we did go to the harbour side to learn about the history of it.
But we went to this beach, and it's one of the sandy beaches down here. It's like one of the really sandy beaches.
Yeah.
Me and my friend get caught in quicksand.
This isn't a dream anymore.
No, this is real life.
Oh, wow.
This is like a proper like horror movie moment. We're stuck in quicksand to the point where I think we're about 6, maybe 5, 6, to the point where you're obviously small when you're that young.
Yeah.
I think up to like the bottom of my chest is how like deep we got into it.
Oh, wow.
And then
how'd you get out?
Someone came over and pulled us out.
Oh, that was bloody lucky, wasn't it? Was it a stranger or was it someone from your school trip?
I think it was someone's parent from the trip.
Oh, wow.
But that kind of like stuck in my brain for quite a while. That's not a dream, but at least
that's horrifying. God, oh God! I mean, you don't.
Shout out to Liam if he's listening. He was the one that was with me.
You don't really realize how serious quicksand is until you hear a story like that.
Until you're in it.
Like, I've gone past when I was younger, and still now the closest beach to us is Western-super-Mare Beach, and there was signs up which says don't go past this point. There could be quicksand, and I've always went past it so many times, and it's never been a problem. Sure, you sink a little bit, but it's never been a massive problem. I usually just I used to let my feet go in, and then I take my feet out, and then move somewhere else.
Well, the biggest thing is, isn't it? If you're like, I think now like obviously you're a lot older, you're taller, you're not gonna have much of a problem. Whereas like if you're 5 or 6, you're 3 foot or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Probably even smaller than that. How tall are you at 5 or 6 on average, do you reckon?
Oh, I don't know. I think you're looking at more 4.5 foot.
No, it can't be that big.
You grow pretty quickly, don't you?
At 5?
Let me have a look on Google real quick. How old? What? How old is a 5-year-old? How tall is the average 7-year-old? Let's do 7 years.
God, it's giving us inches.
Oh God. What is 48 inches in feet?
Have a look at
4 foot. Wow, so maybe you are looking at like 3 and a bit foot.
So 4 years, it says the average for men is 41.5 inches.
Wow, I kind of forget that babies exist.
Feet is that's 3 foot something.
Wow.
Yeah. That's
crazy.
3'4".
People just grow so fast.
I know. It's
that you kind of forget that the 3 foot stage exists, and then everyone's 4 foot. Well, yeah, it's 3 foot as well.
Obviously, there's that 5'2" thing that's going on with me at the moment still.
Well, you are 5'2".
Well, we don't have to talk about that, Fraser. But I spoke to Yuki the other day about this, and she said that she's been 5'3" for the last 10 years of her life.
5'1" since I was 15 years old. Yes.
Are you 5'1"?
Yeah.
I thought you were 5'3".
No.
Oh.
I wish I was 5'3", Chris.
There you go. Learn something new.
So Yuki was an early grower then, I'm guessing. Usually the people that...
Yeah, pretty early, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like average height for a while, and then it stopped, and everyone kept going, so that's a meme.
Aww. In my group, I was always the slowest to grow.
Yeah, me too.
My parents always said, "Oh, you're going to get a growth spurt, you're going to get a growth spurt." Never came. I was always the smallest in the group. And then obviously something led up to me being 5'7", 5'8" today. But I was always the smallest.
Yeah. I think you're about 5'7", 8", yeah. That makes sense.
I'm definitely 5'7", but apparently I'm more towards 5'8" than anything.
Well, to give you an idea, me and Becky are both 5'8.5".
Yeah.
So you're about 5'8", I think.
There's not much in between us.
No.
You're definitely a little bit taller.
A little bit taller.
What was Dreams?
Dreams, yeah, that was the subject.
Back to my. Oh yeah, this is what I want to talk about. So talking about Becky and Jack.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, you bought him some socks.
Yeah. They're gonna arrive on Wednesday when this comes out.
Oh, brilliant!
So
I bet he cannot wait. He doesn't know yet, does he?
No, Becky does. I spoke to her about it.
Brilliant. So for those of you that don't know, Jack is Jack's Exit Life on YouTube. Becky is Jack's girlfriend. This dream briefly involved them in it.
Oh.
And this was the one that I had a couple of nights back.
Yeah.
So there was kind of 3 parts to this dream. The first part was that I was in Disney World and they just opened up this new VR ride. And it's kind of like where you move around in it, but you have to walk around or slide around in it.
Oh, that sounds fun.
You queue up and then you get to this like open round tunnel. This is all down to everyone's imagination here. So everyone's going to be thinking a completely different thing. Which is the good thing about dreams, but it's also strange. So it is this VR ride. You have to slide in on this first part, but you don't slide in normally. You go in head first. So imagine like, it's going to sound so strange. Imagine like a pizza oven.
Right.
But you're covered, there's VR sensors completely caking all surfaces. And you have to go in head first, and you're going along this conveyor belt with a VR headset on.
Yeah.
So Sherry was in the dream.
Mm-hmm.
She was in front of me, and she wanted to go first because obviously she's got VR, and she wanted to, experience this ride ahead of me. So I was like, yeah, okay, you do that, and then I'll go after and follow.
Right.
So then I got on, I had the headset on. However, I couldn't really see much with the headset. It was as if, like, there was a camera pointing at the sensors. So all I could see was, like, blue and red lights and stuff looking at these sensors.
Mm-hmm.
And, when you kind of want to... Going back to my you're useless as a human being in a dreams thing earlier, I kind of
just
wanted
saying
to,
that to me in general.
Oh, yeah, you are. You're fucking useless, Kai. Going back to that thing that I said earlier... I wanted to try and adjust the headset or ask someone for help whilst I was sliding around in this thing.
Yeah.
It was quite a slow ride. It was more like, imagine it's a small world. That kind of speed.
A small world. Oh.
Anyway, so I wanted to ask someone for help, but I couldn't because I was weak. I was in this ride, and for whatever reason, I was just too weak to even move. Anyway, so it turns out, the headset was actually broken, and I was watching the trippy lights from the sensors that you moved around on. So you were sliding around on the sensors as well as this conveyor belt. Next thing I knew, I was lying on the floor, and the employees working there had actually pulled me off the ride, took off my headset, and said mine was broken. But I was like in this dazed, sleepy trance, and I was just coming round. And then had a look over at the ride itself, and then I noticed like this platform had fallen. And the people that were sliding towards this platform obviously didn't know because they had their headsets on. So they started falling off into this pit. And everyone was screaming as they were falling. And they thudded. It was horrible. It was kind of like people were falling off the ride consistently. And no one was stopping the ride. People were getting hurt. They were piling on top of each other.
This sounds like fun, Fraser.
It's painful fun.
Exactly,
but,
sounds good.
Yuki's just sent me a picture, by the way. I'll tweet it out
in a bit.
Go and have a look at my Twitter on Wednesday or something to see what Yuki tweeted. Just sent me. Anyway, so everyone was falling off and they were in pain. And they couldn't see and they were falling down. They were all screaming, getting hurt. And then my dream broke off. So I was like, I don't like this. Woke up from the dream. But I wasn't like in huffs or anything. I was like, oh, well, it's just a dream. Went back to sleep again.
Yeah.
And I went back to sleep. Part 2 of the dream. So next thing I know, I wasn't in Disney World anymore. I was actually in a roller coaster theme park, and Jack and Becky were there. Yeah. There were some fruit machines there where you put in like 10p and spin it, and those little coin dozer ones.
Yeah.
Where you put in the money, you don't get your money back, but you might get your prize.
Yeah.
Those sorts of ones.
The ones I was addicted to.
And Jack put in some money. He only put in like £2 worth of money.
God, he put in £2. That's like an obvious sign that's a dream.
It was in 10p's, mind, but he put in like £2 into these coin dozer things. He didn't get anything out of it. He's like, oh, no worries. He ended up getting food after that or something.
Food's always nice.
And then we walked over to this roller coaster, And it was a strange roller coaster. It was one which had a jump in it. So imagine like, how can I describe it? I guess just kind of try and pick up with me as I go along. So you've got this high point of a roller coaster, and that's behind you. Imagine like a wave. So you start off at a low point in a dip, and then you get on your roller coaster, and you get pulled back up this ramp. When you get to the top of the ramp, when you get to the top of the ramp in your car, you get let go, and then you go plummeting down, and then you get launched over a gap and over to the other side. So I guess imagine like, X Games style bikers doing those jumps and stuff.
Yeah.
So imagine that being roller coaster form.
Okay, sounds interesting.
And it looks good. And my family were on it for whatever reason, so we went on with my family. So we got pulled up, let go, went over this jump. I thought, oh my god, this is horrifying because, you're not supposed to jump on roller coasters. And then we landed perfectly fine. So it was a good run, and I wanted to go back on a second time. But this is where the everything starts breaking aspect comes in. So Disney World had already broken whilst I was there. Now this roller coaster was about to break. So I went back on, and for whatever reason, it pulled us up way too far up this ramp. And it let go. We went over the gap, over the bit we were supposed to land on.
Flying off.
Literally. And we just landed somewhere beyond it. Luckily, everyone was safe, and apparently that was their safety mat area, but I didn't want to go back on it again.
That was their safety mat area.
Dreams. They just kind of invent things as you go along.
Yeah.
So yeah, we landed there, and I was like, no, I'm not going on this again, because my family wants to go on again. And then Jack and Becky kind of like gone at that point. They had to go home, but he DM'd me saying that was freaky, as if he was there and watched it. But he DM'd me freaky, and then something else which I forgot. And then basically he had to go home, and I said, oh god, I need to go home as well. So we teleported, time warped to when we were on the plane and we were flying home. Obviously this was like a dream time warp, not we had magical powers and we could teleport.
Yeah, of course.
Dream time warp to us flying home. And I don't know about you, but whenever I have a dream which involves planes, something always fucks up. I have never had a successful plane journey in a dream.
I usually fall asleep on planes, to be honest. Like, especially like short haul ones. Long haul ones I don't, but short haul ones I do. So,
in real life I just can't sleep on planes, but at least they don't go wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I never have problems with planes and dreams, I don't think.
Oh, fair enough. With me, there's always a problem, and it's always the fear of it crashing.
Yeah. I mean, that's a fear anyway, isn't it?
Oh, I've got another dream to talk about in a minute. Oh my god, but I'm going to do that very quickly. We teleported to when we were flying home, and the plane was flying really low. We were flying over the sea, and it was flying really, really low, to the point where I was kind of like watching from a third-person perspective, like, GTA-style plane flying. I was kind of watching from there, like, oh, we're going to crash. And then the alarms came on. Sure enough, we crashed into the sea, and then the plane started sinking. I was still alive. Everyone was still alive, but the plane was sinking, and water started coming in, but then all of a sudden, the water stopped. And then, for whatever reason, or somehow, obviously this isn't real at all, there was like this underground faulty plane airport, underwater faulty plane airport, and we docked into that whilst the plane had to be repaired. We were moved over to a plane which looked exactly the same, which couldn't fly, but we were just waiting in there for the plane to be repaired whilst being underwater like submarines.
Nice.
It was so strange.
It sounds like a normal dream.
They were like, evacuate, and we were just underwater. How the fuck can you evacuate?
Big bubble.
Oh, yeah.
You watched the Bikini Bottom thing, the Super Bowl thing, or whatever it was.
Oh, right, okay.
That's how it's done. They put you in a big bubble.
Wow, I've learned something new today.
Yeah.
I quickly gone on to my other dream whilst it's in my head. Yeah, of course. So quickly got on to my other dream, which is a slight tangent. You know how I said you don't see yourself die? One dream, I saw myself die. So going back to the whole plane thing, like I've literally just remembered this based on what we've just been talking about. I was in a propeller plane, and little known fact, when I was a little bit younger, so like a few years back, I flew a propeller plane off of Bristol Airport, went flying around Bristol, and then landed again. So I was taken off a propeller plane, can't remember who I was with, and we took off. And there was a problem on takeoff, which resulted in us crashing into the trees in a fireball. And I died on the spot. I woke up briefly, went back to sleep, and I was then watching it from a third-person perspective. I was watching on the sidelines in a car, me take off, and me crash into a fireball. And this was late at night, and I think it was me, it was you as well, and someone else. We walked over. No, you weren't dead. You weren't in the plane. Oh. You were watching from the sidelines with me. We walked over to this fireball to find dead me, burning.
Who are you then?
I was dead. I was in the dream twice. The first dream was me flying the plane with someone else and then crashing into like a foresty tree area and going up in flames. Right. And then the second dream, which was like immediately after, was us actually going and seeing this happen and watching it from the sidelines and actually seeing dead me. It was so weird.
I don't think you want to see yourself dead.
Oh, not at all.
It's bad enough when you see yourself die in like Minecraft, let alone real life.
Well, there's nothing worse, actually. You got any more dreams?
I haven't really. Like, it's just like the general ones, like big hurricane or big tornado sort of thing, you know?
Oh, man, yeah.
But there's nothing like special to talk about. But we got a few minutes left, so I think what we should do is have a quick look through some people that have sent on Twitter.
Yeah, so we tweeted out earlier today, tell us your strangest dreams for a chance to be mentioned in an upcoming podcast. And we tweet this out on our podcast Twitter, @StuckInAPodcast. So if you haven't already followed it, go and follow it. And we were asking, just what's your weirdest dreams? So we'll just go through it one by one. Have you got the tweet open?
I got the tweet open, yeah. Give it a little refresh.
Okay. Alright, no problem. So I'm just going to read out one that I see at the top here. So one of them is from Jess Pritchard, and she said, my weirdest dream had to be my first dream. It was where me and my friends called Cara, Luke, and Katie were all being chased by a dinosaur, similar to your dream, Kai. But for whatever reason, it was purple like Barney. So Barney the dinosaur, gone rogue. Roar. Barney is not your friend.
Barney's my friend.
Barney is a dinosaur with bloodlust. It just sounds
an imagination.
Stick your finger up his bum, you'll die of constipation. Ew. Okay. Do you want to read out the next one?
Yeah, this is one from Neve, or as I like to say, Naive, because I can never pronounce Neve apparently, even though I've got a cousin called Neve.
Okay.
It says, I was chased down the motorway by a giant donut and then turned into a marshmallow and got to burn someone's face off because they were toasting marshmallows and they toasted me and then someone missed their mouth with me. This was a dream because I love food and me being warm is nice for once.
So...
I'm a bit confused by the burning someone's face off.
So they were chased by a giant donut, then they turned into a marshmallow, then they burnt someone's face because they were toasting marshmallows. Oh, I see. So they were toasting marshmallows. Neve was being toasted. They didn't hit their mouth, and instead the marshmallow hit the face, and she got to burn their face off.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There's these online websites where you can see your dream definitions. We don't have enough time, but I would love to look at these websites to see what the meaning behind that sort of dream would be.
We can do that next time.
Sure, we could do that next time.
We've got one here.
Yeah, we got one here from Samantha, I am a ham sandwich, on Twitter. She said, this is a long one. So I fall asleep, and in my dream, I had this dream for a straight month. So imagine a month, the same dream.
Yeah,
I'd be dying by the end of it. I was suddenly sitting on a giant mushroom. Imagine like a real-life mushroom, but gigantic. And suddenly this llama comes up to me and is like, quick, follow me down the yellow brick road. This is starting to all go crazy as it is. And so I was like, all right, and followed it. And then I was met by millions of llamas, who are one of my favourite bands. What?
What?
There were millions of llamas, and they were all in the band, and it was a favourite. They are a Latin band called CNCO. Oh, okay.
I think that might be a real band then.
Right, okay. And all the llamas had their faces, well, I mean they do, and sounded like them, but they were like, oh, I see. So the llamas had CNCO's faces on them, right. And they sounded like them, but CNCO were all llamas. Okay, so I'm sitting there petting them when my sister comes out of nowhere, and she's an alpaca. We all turned to her and started yelling, go away, until she left. Then before I woke up, I started riding off into the sunset, but I was sitting on its back backwards.
You forgot the cry emoji.
So she met CNCO as llamas, went down the yellow brick road with a llama to meet them, shunned the alpaca basically, and rode off backwards into the sunset.
Sounds like a good story to me. I think that should be made into a book.
and it looks like she's also got 5G already.
I know.
Top left of the
I can see
screenshot,
that.
5G, bloody hell.
It's also got an E next
Samantha's
to it as well.
next generation.
That's America as well, isn't it?
That is. Should
Interesting.
we read a couple more? I think we've got time for maybe one. No, let's do two more.
Okay, well, I've got two here, but they're very short ones.
Go for it. We'll do both
hot
of them.
dog.
What?
One just says hot dog.
Okay.
And the other one that I'm quite interested in, because we can have a little quick, really quick chat about this, is I once walked a fish finger on the beach. So a little context for anyone as well. Me and Fraser have actually walked a fish finger on the beach.
I thought it was a chicken nugget.
Was it a chicken nugget?
I think it was. Oh, yeah, it was bird's eye chicken nuggets.
Oh, well, we walked a chicken nugget on the beach.
This was a couple of years back. I went down to Kai's for the first time, and I think we had potato waffles, but we didn't have anything to go with it. So we went down to Tesco, got chicken nuggets, walked along the beachfront, and then we went out a little bit. And I took a picture of Kai holding a pack of chicken nuggets out at sea. And it was like, what, 9-10 in the evening?
Oh, yeah, it must have been.
So we're out on the beach with chicken nuggets, walking.
Good times.
And I think we'll leave it there.
Thanks, everyone, for listening for this week.
What a
Let us know what you want us
on.
to talk about next week on Twitter, @StuckInAPodcast.
Of course.
I can't remember how we do this anymore.
Just kind of go with the flow, don't we?
Yeah, thanks for listening. Make sure you check out our Twitter, like I said. Let us know what you thought of this episode there as well.
Next podcast next week on Wednesday. We upload a new podcast every Wednesday.
Aye.
Over Spotify.
Obviously, if you want to follow us on our stuff, just go to our Twitter. You'll find it there. It's easier to said than done.
Yeah, it's in the bio.
Thanks, everyone, for listening. I'm going to go feed my cat, and we'll see you next time on...
Eat your fish fingers.
Bitch.
I had a dream that I wrestled with a big giant buff man wrestler last night. It was lovely. I just wanted you to know.
That's the outro.